Good evening, Free Enterprise, and happy St. Patrick's Day. It's make or break week here at the Fabul Gauntlet as slippery42 and CrimsonAvix hope to get a bit of the luck of the Irish on their side in the play-in match to secure a spot in the 32-player bracket that starts next week. With me tonight on reach duty is Joseph Mano. Pushing the buttons to make the tracker work is Ravlin. And with me on comps tonight is someone whose name indicates that they are very ready for this holiday. The Greenleaf Effect. How are things going with you?
I am going fantastic, and I personally am a fan of this holiday for the simple fact of I don't have to wear green because I am green wherever I go.
See, that's lucky because I have to scour my closet to find anything green because it's not a color you normally wear. Looking at the matchup we got here tonight, both these players have earned a 3-2 record in the Swiss rounds, which earned them a spot in this play-in match. But they got here in kind of different ways. Slippery had a chance to guarantee a spot for himself in the brackets phase last week, but took a loss on that match to wind up in this playing game. But meanwhile, CrimsonAvix almost had a very quick tournament by losing his first two games, but has since won three basically must-win games to make it this far. So when it comes to momentum, you got to think it's on the side of CrimsonAvix for this match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that last one that he won specifically had a required wyvern at Elements.
Oh, that's a nasty spot for it.
Oh, thankfully we didn't have to continue to complete the giant because the rest of that seed, Pain Man was at CPU.
Oh, that's a 1-2 punch you don't want to see. That is, as long as you're playing the game. If you're watching someone play the game, it's always fun to laugh.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm a big fan of Schadenfreude, and these seeds tend to give you at least one bit of Schadenfreude. There's always that one thing that you just can't help but giggle about.
Speaking of Schadenfreude, I noticed we were starting with Tella tonight, and that's one of the characters I really don't like seeing on the start screen.
See, Tella's interesting because I agree. I don't want to see him on the start screen, but he's one of the few characters that does allow you to pull off a giant grind because he does come with access to weak. So it's one of those things where you kind of want to see him, but you kind of don't want to see him.
You're happy to see him maybe a little bit later on in the seed, maybe at Hobbs or in the Baron Inn, so you have some time to get some strengths before you can get his utility. Starting with him can be a little difficult, so you're hoping for someone who can sort of fill in the gaps and be a very strong early game player, maybe Sid or a Kane.
Yeah, the one thing that our players do not want to see is they do not want to see Edward as character 2. And if Edward is character 2, they desperately want either the hook or the darkness crystal as their first item so they can get a third character.
Yeah, absolutely. So much hinges on that second character when you're starting with a Tella. I mean, it's good to start with a Tella. For one thing, is it gives you a very early access to the exit spell, which allows you to maybe do a little more treasure hunting than you would early on in the seed because you can exit back to the main screen pretty quickly.
Yeah, but aside from that, like I don't necessarily know too much about how Slippery likes to see his seeds go, but I know that Crim does not like doing the boss hunt side of things, and I don't imagine most people do. So definitely that's something to play into with the exit and being able to jump in and out and around to take a look at what the boss hunts are going to do.
Well, it looks like we are just on our way here, so we'll see who is joining us tonight with Tella. And looks to be a Yang. And
Yang.
I'm seeing 4 Yangs.
Doppelgangers.
And we've got a magma key as well, which gives us immediate access to the underground. We don't have to worry about trying to find that. Opens up another interesting path where you can do the Fey March chest and go down to Silk Cave and do Tamra. It'll be interesting to see if they go with a more normal strategy of looting the overworld and doing the checks there first, or if they go straight underground first.
Well, that's also going to depend on what our 5 objectives that we get here, and Anyway is going to be giving those to us shortly.
Let's see what we got tonight. Super Cannon, unlock the past door, complete the Tower of Zot, find Edward, and defeat the evil wall. That looks to be a pretty average set of objectives for my initial pass here.
Yeah, not the worst, not the worst. I mean, there are definitely worse things that could be happening there. The worst thing we're going to have to deal with is figuring out where Evil Wall has decided to hide, but Elements have decided they want a quick bar break.
And we got an Earth Hammer in the inn, so when we do go over and grab that Sid, he's got a very nice weapon to start with. And Sylph for sale in the item shop means that if we do get an early Gridia, we can make her useful almost immediately.
Yeah, that Sylph spell is one of the most broken things in this game, especially early. Oh, hey, let's do 0 MP for an AoE heal and some decent damage.
I mean, the only downside of that spell is it takes about 30 seconds to cast, but you know, when you're in early parts of the seed and you need that strength, you really can't be a beggar.
Hey, I'll take healing and damage any way I can get it.
Looks like we're going to Damskin next, while Crimson is going to grab these 2 chests in the water that I think most people try to avoid because it takes a while to walk around. Don't think you got anything exciting out of there. While Slippery goes down to check the treasury here.
I mean, seeing that Sid in the inn there, we've seen all kinds of weapons for Sid. Poison Axe, Earth Hammer, Rune Axe. I mean, Sid's getting equipped here. Might not be anybody else, but Sid certainly is.
The only question, well, there's a Thunder Claw, which is a nice little piece of equipment for Yang, but otherwise, yeah, not much you can use immediately right now, which might make these first couple of early checks a little difficult.
Yeah, they're definitely hoping to find an easier boss here on Mount Hobbs, coupled with a decent character. Kane wouldn't be bad, although we all know everyone wants to see Fu right here, right?
So I don't think you can do that in these flag sets. I think we have those turned off. But I normally would say, oh, you want an Edward here just to make the pain even more, but that's one of the objectives. So I don't know if we necessarily want to see an Edward very early.
I want Edward to be in the Giant, but I always want things to be in the Giant.
Krim, it seems, is going to be going up and unearthing the hovercraft. It looks like we have a Palom up here, which once we get a little experience on him will be very nice. And it's Mylon, original flavor, waiting for us here.
I mean, original flavor's okay, but you know, I personally prefer the new wave, the new generation.
Well, Palom's around fire, so he'll soon be extra crispy.
I mean, nothing wrong with extra crispy.
The lit one here is doing a little bit of damage, but he should have enough hit points between the 3 of them to stick around.
Yeah, it's the drains here that are going to be the big thing, as almost taking out Palom there with those first 3, and thankfully the last one not touching Palom there, so still able to survive with all of 6 delicious hit points. What, the zombies are using drain? I figured they were delicious.
Sure, makes sense to me. We also have Krim doing the exact same routing, it looks like. If he has any more luck with these ghasts.
Yeah, the interesting thing right here is the fact that you see the formation, just a little bit of difference there, with Krim having set his formation to get Palom and Tella in the back row, whereas Slippery only has Tella in the back row and Palom and Yang in the front row. Hasn't come back to bite him just yet, but just something.
Also, I noticed that they have Yang in a real all-important central position. Slippery does on his side, while Tella's on Crimson's side, and I think in this spot, I would rather have Yang in the middle for the bonus accuracy, and I think also for the speed purposes, since it's a pretty slow boss spot.
Yeah, but these early boss spots, you're not going to be too far affected by the agility anchoring with whoever's in your third spot, your middle spot there. It's definitely going to be something you want to pay more attention to later when you're at faster spots like King Queen Eblon, like, you know, other of those stats that have other of those slots, I promise, that tend to have higher speeds.
True, and at this point, with the very early Tella, the very early Yang, I wouldn't be surprised if their agility was pretty even anyway.
I mean, can an old man like that even have an agility score? I mean, I don't know how well versed you are in D&D rules, but the more venerable you get, the lower your physical stats go.
And that's Smiling down and Slippery's side. He's got a very, very slight lead. Still a long, long way to go, of course. So we'll be interested to see if they both want to go to the back side of Hobbs and loot there, considering that they do have very quick access to that exit spell.
Well, I mean, that's a good reason just to grab that chest. There's some sauce. Again, I can words, I
You
promise.
can word, yes.
We saw some crystal armor. I promise I'll be able to get a sentence out here. I swear it.
That's a lot of money just sitting in their inventory waiting to be sold, since I don't think I've ever seen anyone ever use that armor.
Nope.
Best armor in the game doesn't work with Berserk, so therefore becomes the worst armor in the game.
I mean, gonna take a quick peek into the Antlion's deck because it's a pretty easy boss, pretty free item. Of course, I say this and we're gonna end up with a wyvern here.
Just our luck. There's a curse ring. You always want to see one of those. That's going to make the end of the game a lot easier. So that's, I'm sure, a load off of Slippery's mind having seen that.
Crim finishing up with his Mylon there, and he's starting to get some of the level 2 spells over on his Quake kit.
Yes, obviously you want to keep getting that experience until you do get to that Quake, but getting those at first level 2 spells, then getting up to the virus level. There's a second curse ring, and then finally getting up to that Quake brings Pal online, makes him one of the best characters in the mid game.
So all these drain spears and earth hammers, and nary a hammer or spear user in sight right now.
Well, that'll be fixed as soon as they hit the barrier, of course, but as of right now, it's just taking up space in the inventory. It looks like Crim is going to be following right in Slippery's footsteps, as you might expect, going into that Amplifying Cave, getting that check out of the way.
Yeah, considering they've followed each other's footsteps here pretty soon, or pretty much, it's going to be interesting to see if their routes diverge at all, and if they don't, what turns out to be the difference.
True. It is interesting that neither of them really chose to go underground. They're both sort of taking the more standard vanilla route through the game, as we see a Val in this very early spot. A very good place for her to be, because her spinning isn't really going to cause many problems.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're definitely happy to see a boss like a Valvalis, like a Golbez in one of these earlier spots where it's not going to cause nearly as much of a headache as it would later on in the seed, especially if it's blocking something that's required.
Unfortunately, we do see that magic defense is strong enough so that all the magic is only going to be doing 1 damage. So it's basically all going to be up to Yang to deal the damage, unless Pal can get a few bluffs off.
I'm being a good kid, I promise. Wink, wink.
Yang took 2 hits of that Petrify. I think you still should be fine. You should still be able to get through this, as long as Yang doesn't take one of those weak and then punches right to the face before he gets completely Petrify, which would be basically a reset at this point, but we'll have to see how it works.
I mean, the one good thing is we do have access to the heal spell on Pella. But yeah, we've got both of our runners here just sort of pounding away with Yang's claws here on Valvalis, and Slippery is going to be the first one of our runners to finish this. Makes sense considering he was the first one to arrive here.
And that's a Darkness Crystal, and that basically means the entire game is wide open for our runners. Where to next, folks?
I mean, with this party, I'm going to immediately unlock the whale. I'm figuring out I'm getting that character on the moon. That's me.
No, absolutely. Whenever I play, I always try to get up to that 5th character spot, just because it's just even extra bodies into your party always gives you more and more strength. It looks like he's actually going to hit Agard and maybe go underground first.
Well, not the best sound effect in the game. The ooh is still pretty.
Meanwhile, Crim looks to be using taking advantage of the J ability power to knock out Valvalis and get his own Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, and this is a point where you could see a route variation here, as the Magma Key was dropped over on Slippery's side. I don't think you go and drop this Magma Key unless you're intending to go down there right now. There's no need to. So this could be a good point for a variation.
Absolutely. It just kind of surprises me that he chooses to do this right now, because with the Darkness Crystal available, you might want to do that first and then go down, or continue your routing through the overworld, because you can go here first.
I'm going to make a quick stop into the waterfall to take a look at what we have for a boss here, and that is not the evil wall.
That was the sisters, so you don't have to worry about them for the rest of the seed. So he's also going to check Kaipo, maybe see if Edward is taking a nap tonight.
Not the worst idea. I have seen some seeds where someone has forgotten to check the Sand Ruby character, and it was the required character. Hey, speak of the devil!
How about that? So Crim now has the knowledge that he needs to get the Sand Ruby. So that's a little bit more knowledge that Slippery doesn't have at the moment, while he does. Slippery is going over to raise the whale.
Interesting note, the last time I called a race of Crim where Edward was involved, he took the liberty of naming Edward after me, so wouldn't be surprised if Edward's name is TGE in this scene.
We'll keep an eye out for that. He's also going to check out Mist Cave, going to check, see if Walls happens to be here, maybe a Vanilla D Mist.
None of the above.
Antlion seems to have buried his way over from his other home. Maybe this is his summer home.
I mean, if you got it, might as well use it, right?
Right. So looks like Crim is going to go over to Troya and do the shopping now over there. If you need any more Earth Hammers, you know where you can get them. Meanwhile, Slippery's heading over to the moon, going to likely look at the shop there and get a fourth character.
But having some silk webs is nice to see.
That's always one of those items you're happy to see in a shop, especially because it's one that you can find pretty early. Coffins on the moon.
That's also an item you're happy to see in a shop.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure these runners are very happy to be seeing stuff like coffins and maybe later Bacchus wines or sirens, because come the next game for whoever wins, they're going to be much harder to find.
Some Cure 3 is also a good thing to see.
Absolutely, especially because we don't really have a very strong white magic presence in the party yet. So you're happy to get any healing you can.
Well, speaking of white magic,
you've got one. Why not make a complete set and get your Porum as well?
I mean, not the best white mage, but still a white mage.
She learns things a little slower, but I mean, at the end of the game, if you have levels on her, she can still do the job. And also give you access to that Twid magic, which might come in handy this early in the seed.
And I know we don't talk about the after years and everything like that, but the pink-haired Palom sprite from the after years is fantastic.
Meanwhile, after completing his shopping trips, looks like Crim is going to be heading over to the city to raise his own whale, while Slippery returns to Earth.
So now with everything opened up, where do you go from here?
Well, it looks like Slippery is going to do the more free spot checks here in the underground. He was headed towards Sylph Cave to take a look at another gang, but it looks like he's going to do Fey March first. I would be tempted to go to Ordeals at this point, with the 4 characters, I feel like I have a decent shot doing that, and I'd unlock Tella's full spell list, which would help out greatly.
Yeah, it's definitely, it can be overwhelming with all of these choices. You know, you're so used to playing some of these seeds where it's, you know, literally just a case of follow breadcrumbs where it's like you have to follow from linear to linear to linear. And then it's like, oh, I have all of these options. Which ones do I do?
Exactly. And the thing is, there's no wrong choices except the ones that you happen to make that don't lead you to the right answers. There's a white spear, which we haven't seen a cane yet, so.
And we've got some wine.
I think it should be Guinness Stout tonight in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
I mean, I'm down with that, although Guinness does also have a blonde as well.
Oh, okay. We're also going to check our bosses down here. Is anyone interesting hiding out here? Dr. Lugay and a blue robe, which could either be a free water hag or a not so free gauntlet.
I mean, I personally hope it's the gauntlet blocking something we need, like the tower key or the pass, but that's just me.
Well, it looks like Slippery's going to go ahead and take a peek and see who that exactly is. While Crimson gets his second twin.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason to not take a peek at that, because if it is Water Hag, hey, look, free. If it's the Gauntlet, you're like, okay, good, I saved, we reset, we're good.
Absolutely, it's a very smart idea. That's not free.
That is definitely not free. It'll be a delicious experience, but it's not free.
Well, it does mean if we do see another blue robe somewhere out in the world, we know it's the Water Hag.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things of the more recent additions to the randomizer is the alt gauntlet, because before it was, oh, gauntlet's just free. Now it's nope, it's not free depending on where you are. I have seen way too many gauntlets at Ogopogo recently.
That is one of the nastiest places you can actually find it. That's I have lost lots of time on some seeds trying to grind my way through that. Well, having finished up with Fey March, it does look like Slippery's going to go down and say hi to Yang number 3 down here in Sylph Cave.
Sylph Cave is one of those where people will try to put it off as long as they can to try and only have to dive in once to come here with the pan, so you can get just smack Yang and not have to worry about it. But sometimes, unfortunately, you just have to go take a peek and go report to the wife.
Sometimes that pan is vanilla and Yang's wife is just holding on to it, waiting for you to come back. So, yeah, sometimes it's just unavoidable.
Yeah, and that's always the fun thing when it comes to routing randomizers is you want to try and be as efficient as possible, but sometimes you have to be willing to double or in some cases triple dip locations depending on what happens.
We have butte bells for sale down here in Tamra. Did not pick one up. Looks like it's usually a nice item to have for the guards if you ever find them. And we do have validation. That's a retail salesperson.
Must be on break in the back room.
Meantime, Crimson is following in somebody's footsteps, but it does look like he's doing a little extra treasure hunting of his own.
Always an interesting call when treasure hunting is involved, especially when there could be trapped chests. Especially not with a full party there. So I always find it an interesting gamble that runners make when they
Could be an interesting play, especially in future seas when we start moving on the bracket flags, when places like this will have better treasure than you'll find elsewhere. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. It looks like he's happy with his haul and is just going to go ahead and grab the free chests around here, while Slippery is doing a very full grab of everything here in Dwarf Castle.
I remember first time I ever cleared Dwarf Castle, going up the towers. I could not figure out how to get to those chests. Like, there's a wall there. How can I get that? I can't walk through. Oh wait, I can walk through.
Yeah, that's a puzzle. If you know the answer to it, then yeah, it's a lot of quick equipment, but it's just a matter of finding it. And he just exited out, so showing that use of that tela early on. So at this point, we're 22 minutes in or so. We've got the entire world open to us, and we have, count them, zero objectives complete. This could be shaping up to be another one of those things where you're just wandering around everywhere, just trying to find the right items or the right boss.
There was a seed I was doing the other day, or I was commentating on a couple weeks ago, where it was, we got the first objective out of the way, like super easy. And then nothing for like an hour and a half. And finally, it was a chain reaction of the Ogopogo spot having the boss we were looking for, which had the item, which had the rat tail, which you had to turn in to get the item you need. And that one spot chained to the other 4 objectives.
So sometimes you can wait forever and then 2 buses come at once, as they say.
Exactly. Just make sure
4 objectives come at once. Slippery's going to go ahead and take care of the gauntlet here. Ooh, can we get a Star Veil off in time? That answer is no.
That'd be a negative, Ghost Rider.
Oh, well, the question is, if we drop the speed far enough, can we do that? And
well, we have cursed
try.
rings, so
that is true. We might be able to sneak it out that way as well. And unfortunately, it does mean that all the shopping that Slippery just did, I think, was for naught. He's gonna have to do that again as well.
That's the thing about Wyvern, is it'll get you once, but Wyvern's biggest thing is the element of surprise. So once you know it's coming, it kind of loses that. Because after the Mega Nuke, it's just sort of like, oh yeah, I've already got the reflex up.
And looks like we're getting not just 1, but 2 Star Veils off. And misses Porum entirely as well, so that's more experience on Porum as well.
Nothing wrong with that.
Meanwhile, it looks like Crimson is about to is doing his shopping in Fabul as well. We'll see if he'll be able to keep it this time with Wyvern on the way, and we have Adamant as the gift from the king.
Oh, we're halfway to an Excalibur.
Unfortunately, without a Cecil or maybe even an Edge having yet to make their appearance, it's nothing more than a shiny sword.
I mean, what's wrong with shiny swords?
True. And of course, today, considering what today is, we have to make sure that that's the true Adamant and not fake, because after all, we don't want to be given a sham rock.
And hey, look at that vanilla pan.
Just as we were saying, sometimes you just gotta be willing to double dip, and there's the vanilla pan. And of course, we have to say, is this even randomized?
Yep. How long have you been waiting for the Adamant to show up just to drop the Shamrock pun?
About 5 hours. And yeah, there's Crimson coming face to face with his Wyvern.
And Tella survived.
Tella's going to be able to miss it, so this could still work out for him.
Not the way you expect that to go.
It looks like he's going to be able to get most of his party back up in time to, if nothing else, provide bodies to fodder for the nuke. Exactly.
And Crim did just buy a whole bunch of life potions, so he's going to put those to some use.
I mean, at some point, you do have to sort of ask yourself, is it quicker just to take the reset and redo the battle rather than trying to juggle these life potions around? But once you've started doing it, you're almost committed to it. Well, no, maybe not. There's a difference. Right as soon as I say that.
Yep. Commentator's curse, friend. Commentator's curse.
Interestingly enough, Crimson is noping out of that and didn't even have the chance to say hi to Sheila to get the pan.
Interesting. Oh, we've got some cabins.
Well, you're always very happy to see those somewhere, anywhere in the seed. Don't have to try to juggle around tents.
We've also got an ordeals check coming. I mean, this is good for the bosses because it's going to give us 3 boss checks here, even though we only need 1. That's
okay, not so. I would say, you know, all right, I'm sorry, I'm being a little confused. I forgot which bosses block underground access, which is not necessary at this point.
We've got everything.
We've been everywhere, exactly, yes. You know, you got that Palom who's got several life 2s, you got Television life 1s, so you don't have to worry about trying to use the J items you found in your inventory to get through this this gathering of the water.
And the lit scared him.
I think he'd be used to it by now.
You really would. Also, Hinatsu saying hi and waving.
But he's got so few HP here that, yeah, it's only going to tickle.
Squirtle used withdraw. Am I crossing the streams of my randomizers now?
Crim's going to take a second shot at this wyvern. Hopefully we'll get that the Star Veil up this time. I think he threw the curse ring on Tella, so...
Good news, he got the Star Veil off. Bad news, he didn't go off in time.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh, poor Crim.
I think this is going to be one of those problems because now that the Wyvern's at the same speed as the rest of his party, the Wyvern's going to be just so fast. So I think, unfortunately, it's going to be another reset.
Round 3 fight?
Yeah. Meanwhile, the back attack spot here is Octomom.
Don't tickle the octopus, kids.
Once again, just more excuses to throw at those lit 2s.
And that Thunderclaw we picked up earlier are going to be really nice.
Absolutely.
Although I'm honestly wondering, like, look at the sprite for the Octomammoth here. Like, it can float in stone.
You think a creature that could float in stone would have more than about 3,700 hit points?
Yeah, like that's crazy. Although I want to be as happy as Octomom because look at that smile.
I don't know if it's a happy smile. I think it's more of a I'm hungry smile.
I mean, if that's the case, I'm always smiling.
I think Crimson's got the Star Veils off this time, so I think finally, after 3 tries, Wyvern's finally going to go down.
And Tella taking a nap because the microwave wouldn't nuke the stuff fast enough. Yeah, I went there.
Slippery's into the room, crystal room here on Ordeals. It's a tower key. Well, that's very nice to have because it means you don't have to try to dig into Tower Battle twice and find some guards as well for his trouble.
Always disappointing to see one of the easier fights or the free fights here because this spot is pretty much free no matter what you do. So see one of the easier fights, you're just a little bit, oh.
Oh, we are going to get a little piggy action out of this fight.
Oh, we don't have the right sprite, so we can't go piggy pally.
Ah. Crimson is finally happy to see the back of Fabul and is going to be heading, looks maybe to be doing Baron in next.
I mean, we know Elements is there. Getting Elements out of the way at the guard spot isn't bad, and picking up Sid with all of the stuff we've seen for Sid, not the worst idea.
No. If he gets a relatively easy second fight, he can definitely pick up time on Slippery on the Ordeals climb.
Yeah, but that's just the thing is, what is this second fight going to be?
That's always the question because it could be a pretty tough spot depending upon who's there.
Crim resetting because he forgot to set his battle speed back to normal.
That's something that always bites me. I'm always so relieved whenever I fight a battle. I've had to change the battle speed on because it's so tough, and I completely forgot I have to reset after the battle.
Yep.
Slippery's heading over to meet Crimson over here in the Fabul Inn.
I mean, I'd get mad at attack too. They were just sitting there, the three of them, just trying to have a couple of adult beverages together, and then, this crazy monk comes up and tries to interrupt what's going on. I'd be mad too. And there's the water hag.
Well, that is a free fight. I mean, you're not unhappy to see this probably, but you probably again rather see this at a harder spot. Although he is hitting hard and fast, because I guess Tell still has that curse ring.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's one of those spots where you don't want to have your agility anchor be just that, an anchor.
Oh, that's a pretty bad feeling, getting wiped by water hag.
Yeah. Slippery, on the other hand, is able to get through and gets the Earth Crystal. That's a pretty nice character check, although we do know where Edward is. Although, on the other hand, Slippery doesn't know that because he hasn't been to Kaipo yet.
We also don't know who our Duke character is yet either, so there's always that.
True. And Sid has his pick of weapons because we've got so much stuff for him to see.
He just wants to ask a couple of questions, no big deal. There it was. That was the pun. That was the one that caused the awkward silence. It's
like Slippery is going to use a couple of sirens he picked up earlier and probably get Quake Kid online.
I mean, if you got your egg puns, now's the time to throw them out, everybody.
Crack them out on us.
Don't go over easy on us either.
Don't be chicken.
What the cluck?
Yeah, the morning race with all the breakfast puns, I probably used them all up.
Well, I mean, we're gonna fight a couple of eggs, and we've got the darkness crystal, so, I mean, at this point, aren't we just having a moons over my hammy?
Yeah, we already did find the pan, so, I mean, we have
yeah, we're only missing a spoon. I mean, I can't make the Eggs Benedict joke because we have no Kane in the party. See, this I never understand. You're using the siren. You're calling the enemy. How does an egg that you're calling sneak up on?
Don't you ever just wander around and see an egg on the ground and go, ah, and then just sort of freeze for about 10 seconds?
I mean, maybe, or he's a hard-boiled spy. So Krim looks like he's going to go ahead and make the Earth Crystal check, as we had a couple of eggs get scrambled, and Slippery going to go ahead and go play El Kabong with Yang's face.
Krim is going to be looking at the treasury as well, looks like, with that Earth Crystal. I mean, and to this point, Tower of Zod is an objective, so climbing up there and clearing it out is something you're going to have to do at some point.
Yeah, I mean, might as well get an objective, get a couple of character checks. More than likely, you'll find someone to replace Tella.
Question is, of course, do you want to replace Tella, since he does unlock that D machine grind for you? But we do have sirens in the seed already, so maybe that's your preferred method of grinding.
Yeah, I know Krim would prefer to either grind the King Ryu's on the moon or do the egg grind, than go ahead and do the D machine grind. I know he's just not comfortable with it.
Sure. Looks like the Sylphs just had a crystal ring for us. No key item. Not a bad item.
It's an item.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Slippery using a tent outside of Dwarf Castle used to apply these. Going to want to do that check next. And
a couple of Gaia hats in the treasury so far.
Looks to be a lot of money in the treasury and not a lot of great items necessarily. So, in the bracket seeds, you'll see a lot higher quality items there. So I think it's one of the places where you can get actually like ultra rare items, like maybe a 1% chance of getting it, but it's still possible.
Ooh, we've got ourselves a dancing Rubicante.
Be an interesting spot to fight him in, although they did do some grinding, so they probably have the levels and the power to take care of this.
Yeah, see, the more interesting thing for me is the enemies that end up at this spot and then the Dr. Luge spot at the top of the tower is always interesting because, okay, this is now the enemy you have to fight with the dancing Calcabrena music. And gives an entirely different feel to the fight depending on what it is. Like, fighting Golbez to dancing Calcabrena as opposed to Clad in Darkness is something completely different.
Absolutely. Timing the ice well to do lots of damage there. Well done for Slipper, because sometimes that timing, especially on the level 2 and level 3 spells, can be difficult to hit the right window.
Like
as
this
we just see there.
Virus, one of the best sound effects in the game.
Those retaliatory fire shoes are doing a fair bit of damage there. You have to be able to be very careful with using those fights. Man, this is basically, I'll just sit is up.
Well, Sid versus Rubicante, who's gonna win? Place your bets now.
Fortunately, I think my bet's gonna be on Rubicante at this point. Yeah.
Yep. he sort of glared over, like, yeah, no, we done. We gotta go back to that one.
We're good here. Crimson doing some treasure hunting up in the Tower of Zod, finds the flame dog fight.
Not the scariest trap treasure chest monster we could find.
This is one of those ones you definitely want to look out for. I know I see people looting this one, trying to find this specific one, because again, it's not that difficult. It's a ninja shirt, which I think you put it best earlier. That's an item.
Yes, that is an item. Yeah, this is definitely a fun one because we are almost 45 minutes in, no objectives yet, but we are getting close to one as Tower of Zoc is an objective.
This is one of those times as a runner that you just feel very unease because the entire seat's been open basically from the first 15 minutes, and yet here we are 40 minutes in and you have 0 objectives complete. So you're wondering, did my opponent choose a different route? Are they way ahead of me now?
Yeah, that doubt absolutely has to be setting in, especially in a win-or-go-home style race like this. You're definitely looking over your shoulder, like, oh, what's going on here? And, well, I believe we've got the new and improved flavor mine.
Yes.
Although, not gonna lie, the first time I saw the Mylon sprite with just the weird, like, things, like, growing out of him, am I the only one who thought he's a potato who's been left out in the sun too long? Like, does that not look like the eyes on an old potato?
It does, absolutely. I can't unsee that now, thanks.
Which is why trash can glitch works. You just throw the potato away. You're welcome, community. You're welcome.
We got Slippery doing the Rubicante fight again. I will imagine not going to do the Berserk strats here and annoy Rubicante to the point where he just throws fire at you all day. And gets through it this time.
And we do have a character coming here as well, so, I mean, I want to see a Duke Tella, but that's me.
It's a mom bomb in the goal best spot, and coming through the door, the Rosa.
I mean, you're always happy to see that. Oh, and I love the Lavender Rosa palette so much.
And that's Tella's job done for the evening. That pretty much guarantees that we're going to be doing Siren grinds for him here on out for the experience.
I mean, you got the Sirens, you might as well use them.
Yeah, absolutely. As this spot really doesn't have that much hit points, yeah, we get right to the exploding phase of the fight.
Yeah, the Golbez boss fight in this spot is always an interesting one. And I'd always think, I know how to do it. It still scares the crap out of me every time.
Meanwhile, behind the fire magic Palom, I see we do have Crimson finishing up with Mylon Z, or Mylon Z, I suppose, if you're Canadian or British.
Mylon Potato.
And after a quick save, we get to see what characters await us on the top of the tower. And
we got a Cecil.
we've seen a lightsaber, but other than that, haven't found any of the other good weapons for Cecil, so I'll be interested to see if he comes along for the ride. Or maybe this edge is more to your liking.
I'm pretty sure at this point Crim is going to go with at least Edge, probably both. He definitely tends to prefer the Berserker strats, and I know Edge is his favorite character to find when it comes to this. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that we're going to see both Tella and Edge get brought into this party.
Meanwhile, Slippery is done with the Mom Bomb fight, and Luca has around her neck tonight a ribbon.
Well, that's
Very
appropriately adorable.
Yes. Not a key item, but very good item for Rosa here. Will help keep her alive a little bit. Meanwhile, yes, Edge and Cecil coming along for the ride on Crimson's side.
So, I mean, if he wasn't planning on doing ordeals before, getting Cecil here is definitely incentive to do so.
I would imagine at this point, having that Dark Knight Cecil around, he's definitely going to run to ordeals next and get that cleared away.
Yep, we got to set up here for whatever the boss fight here is, and hoping it's nothing too crazy. Gonna set up Sid for the back row here, and let's take a look and see what we're gonna get in the steps of Zod. I mean, personally, I want to see this be the evil wall, and then we get the Sand Ruby as the item.
And everything just gets completely opened up, but it's Bygone instead.
And we can always let bygones be bygones. Yeah, y'all thought I was going to go with a bacon joke to continue the breakfast puns, didn't you?
That's what my money would have been on.
Just trying to not be as predictable as people think.
Slippery is also heading up to the tower as well. Interesting to see if he also decides to do this little treasure opening, or if he's just going to take a beeline right up to the bosses here.
So, this is an interesting thing because the way Crim has got this party set up is his only white mage is taking a nap right now, so he's going to have to be very careful.
He did get rid of the Palom, so right now he really doesn't have much in the way of AoE attacks to take care of the arms and Bygone at the same time. He has Edge's ninja spells, and he's got Sid's Earth Hammer, but not choosing to take either of those options right now.
Yeah, at this point it's just a matter of survive. Which isn't the best option right now, although he did go back and save before he came up here,
So yeah, looks like he's going to have to go through the cutscene again, unfortunately. Slippery, on the other hand, is coming up here and is going to take on Bylon Post-Consumer.
Post-Consumer. So now here comes the question, if you're Crim, is it's Bygone. You're going to want AoE. Do you forego pulling Palom out so you have access to that?
The thing to remember as well is that in this flag set, you can always go to Mysidia and pick up characters that you've dismissed. So it definitely could be an option to tell Cecil, not right now, keep Porum around, fight him off, go through ordeals, and then go back to Mysidia and pick up Cecil as a paladin.
Or you can keep Tella around and dismiss Palom, and dismiss Cecil right now and go back later.
Well, as long as you have some way of doing AoE, although I would think, again, since you haven't done ordeals, you would want to keep Palom around over Tella.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting option here, but hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see where we go with this.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason that they're playing and I'm not.
There's definitely a reason that they're playing and I'm not.
Slippery is through Mylon Z and gives the crystal to a Mom Bomb who, haven't we already seen him before?
I think we definitely have. So how are you giving the crystal to something you've already beat? I'm just going to hurt my head.
Timey-wimey stuff, I guess.
Yes, timey-wimey BS indeed.
we have nice Paladin and Cecil here. So again, we'll see if Slippery wants to take in either Cecil or Edge. See what kind of party he wants to take into the final parts of the game.
The answer is yes to both.
Oh, we've got some interesting equipment. At least definitely on the Cecil side. I didn't see if we picked up anything really good for Edge just yet. So we'll see how this works out. Be very curious.
Remember that crystal armor you said that nobody wears?
Commentator's jinx.
Yeah. Guess what? Guess who's wearing it?
Well, I don't think, aside from, I think we might have a Bacchus wine or two, but aside from that, I don't think we have a source of Berserk at this moment, because I don't think Rose has learned it yet, or Porum.
Nope, although Vagan just giving Crim the absolute business right now.
This is turning out to be a very tough spot.
Yeah, that crystal armor going to be a huge boon here. It's going to be massive defense on Diesel.
Meanwhile, Porum did use Berserk on Edge, so obviously Porum has learned.
Yeah, those couple of eggs we saw that Slippery ground on earlier, definitely coming in handy here in this fight.
Absolutely.
Making up a huge chunk of time.
Absolutely. Having access to Quake right now is just so big, especially because Bagon's going to throw up that wall, and Quake's not going to care.
Like most, angsty teenagers, Quake Kid does not care.
So Crimson Bagon coming by again and again. So on third try, hopefully he'll be able to get through this.
Also, I feel the need to say "or" because it's like the fourth time we've seen that now.
Every time we come in here, I always think, "Oh, is that CPU there?" No, it's not. It's not the. No.
Although, speaking of things like that, the other day I did see a fantastic package sprite that was kidnapped Rosa. So it's always hilarious when you just have Rosa like tied up in the ropes going around burning down all of Mist.
There are some interesting sprites there, absolutely. And
they're fantastic.
Yes, again, looks like we're keeping tail around and saying no to one of the twins. And Tower of Zod is complete. That is our first objective on Slippery's side.
And there's a Bacchus wine. There's another Bacchus wine. Just in case you didn't know what the objectives were, you can another check on them there over on Slippery's. Tower key is ordeals.
Ordeals, I believe. Yes, it's ordeals. And with two new characters in the party, I think it's high time to get cracking on some eggs again.
I mean, we definitely could. We just gotta make our jokes quickly before chat poaches all our puns.
I should have been thinking of more while we were waiting. Jeez.
I mean, I could reference random dishes that some people might know what I'm getting at, but I mean, there's only so many ways you can make a bubble and squeak joke.
I've had a long, hard day's work. Okay, I'm just fried. I don't want to think about this anymore.
I mean, you could definitely go there. So what you're saying is your brain's a little scrambled.
Exactly. Crimson opting for some blink strats to try to get through Bagon's physical attacks at this point.
Is this one of those things where blinking you'll miss it?
Well, for Crimson's sake, we're going to hope Baigan misses it.
Meanwhile, Quake Kid going to town, not cracking the eggs, but just cracking the ground instead, so.
If you want to make it odd, you got to crack a few grounds.
Only if you're freshly cracked black pepper.
Mm. Okay, thankfully Slippery is done, so we can drop those puns for a while. We're going to move on to the tower. Since he's got the tower key, you can check both places right now.
Because we are still looking for a boss, we are going to more than likely take a look at that. And hey, look, monsters!
Continue to check out some of these trapped chests. See if there's any decent items to be found inside of them.
Well, if not, we know one thing. There'll be items.
As we have found out, yes.
That's an item. That's a decent item, too.
I will take more Bacchus wines any day of the week.
So, since we were talking about, the different types of beer earlier, the Guinness Stout, the Guinness Blonde, is Bacchus wine a red or a white?
Ooh. Gosh, is it a vintage or is it a new wine?
I don't know. I mean, I would probably say it's a red, just because there's no cold storage here.
Ask some very, very difficult questions I don't know if the world is ready for the answers for.
Definitely not, but hey, look at that.
That looks pretty vanilla to me. I don't know about you.
I mean, is this even?
Exactly. Crimson, thankfully, third time the charm on Baigan, gets through the Tower of Zot. Thank you very much, chat, for this, by the way.
Yep. For those of you who might be watching this without chat replay, just assume that chat is being just as horrible at the puns as we are, if not worse.
That's a cannon currently exploding on Slippery's side. That's his second objective done.
I do enjoy explosions. And Crim doing exactly what we thought he would, heading right back to Mysidia and gonna pick himself up a pain man.
And with Cecil coming along for the ride, it's probably an ordeal's time for him. It's ordeal time to do ordeals.
I mean, that Baigan fight was the ordeal.
Yes, and hopefully he's got a bit more power behind him so he can zoom through those three bosses there.
There wasn't anything too scary at that ordeals. There was Vanilla Mylon, there was Octomammoth, and there was Look at that. We now know who's in Upper. So
that's one of those checks, especially when you've got an outstanding boss hunt that you're happy to see. So it means it's only one boss check in hook seed now, or the hook route now, and that's an Ogo on top of the tower.
Or an oh no.
Or an oh nope.
Again, remember what I was talking about earlier with Rubicante at the Dancing Calbreno music? Ogo Pogo with the Dancing Calbreno music is just as crazy. But, real talk, the music in this game is fantastic.
Absolutely. And with luck, we'll be able to hear some more if we ever do need to find the Twin Harp.
I mean, yes. One of the few times you'll ever hear me shut up during commentary is for Twin Harp.
So we're going to be taking advantage of some reflect strats to be able to reflect some spells onto Ogopogo and not annoy him more.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't Violent, it was Kanazo. My bad. Mylon was Mount Hobbs.
What's an elemental between friends?
No comment. At least none that are appropriate.
Looks like Slippery does have this fight pretty well in hand. It can be a pretty difficult spot at this point in the game, but he's cracked enough eggs. I think he can get through this without much difficulty.
As you say this as the big wave just does a lot of damage.
And welcome to everyone ready for RPG Limit Break. We've got quite a seat on our hands with a lot of open questions still to be answered.
Well, top of tower, did you see that?
That's a sand ruby, and Slippery doesn't know it yet because Crimson's the only one who's checked, but in Kaipo's bed tonight is Edward, so that will eventually be an objective on his side, leaving us just looking for the pass, which could be anywhere, and the evil wall, which could also be anywhere.
I mean, at this point, you know, statistically speaking, the moon is where you're going to probably find the evil wall. But because this is a race, because this is free enterprise, because it's a tournament, because there's way too many people in chat who enjoy Schadenfreude just like I do, we all want to see it at Elements. Am I wrong, y'all?
I plead the fifth.
Of Bacchus? Of Guinness? Of what? Since this seems to be the theme of the day here.
Yes.
Also, monsters.
And Octomom is now doing the shakes on Crimson's side. He's getting through ordeals fairly easily. It's been an hour. He's got good power to get through here, so he'll be getting his Paladin very shortly.
So now here's the fun part if you are Slippery. You don't have anything screaming, go check me. You're still looking for the pass. You don't really need that till the end because, let's be honest, that's the last thing you're going to do to get your crystal. So at this point, do you go check the moon? Or do you gamble because it's a win or go home, and do you check the giant?
Given how things have shooken out right now, I don't think Slippery would feel he needs to make such a high variance play as to go check the giant at this point. I think the logical play would be crack a few more eggs, get some more levels, and go up to the moon and see what you can find up there. I mean, the bigger question is I mean, you're still looking for the pass, so you're gonna have to beat up, bosses as you find them. You can't just do a reset strategy and just try to find the wall, because you've got to still find the pass.
Or you can go follow that Baron key you just got.
That's another nice option there.
But immediately going to turn in the Sand Ruby, and you're going to be very happy to turn in that Sand Ruby because we all know that is everyone's favorite musician.
You're an hour 5 into the seed, you've got a full party stacked to the gills, and you're happy to find Edward. That does not happen very often.
I never said you were going to use him. I said you were happy to find him.
Important distinction.
Correct. Although, let's be honest here, the best thing that's going to happen is Evil Wall is going to be the package boss.
So 3 down, 2 to go on Slippery's side, and yeah, Baron Key now makes a lot of sense, because that's another the single boss strike, since you know that the Karate Man is going to be your first boss. Another key item, and another character, although outside of a Fu, I'm not sure who else you'd want to put in your party at this point. I mean, you do have 2 white mages, so you could definitely get rid of Horum for maybe some more melee attack if you want to do a more of a balanced strategy.
Yeah, I mean, with the 2 white mages, it also wouldn't surprise me if Kane was there if you saw it switching to Kane.
True. Yes, good point in chat. It also opens up the Odin spot, so check down in the basement.
But yeah, now with the tower key, Crim gonna go ahead and more than likely make his way down there, take down the super cannon, which we know is a pretty easy fight because it's the Dark Imps. Although, gonna make a quick stop off at Dwarf. Crim gonna be very happy with here once he gets by this Rubicante to find himself a Rosa.
Yes. First, he's going to do his shopping, find his sirens. Be very happy to find those. I don't know if he's been here before, because he's cracked some eggs, hasn't he?
No, he has not.
Oh, well, then he's very, very happy to find the sirens.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Meanwhile, Slippery making the long walk underneath Baron Castle. Making a safety save here.
It's only a long walk if we don't find anything we need.
And yes, Crimson gets serenaded by the dancing Rubicante.
Wait, so he's singing as well as dancing? Well, that
That's how I
explains
imagine it.
everything. And he glares at you when you don't sing with him.
That makes sense to me. He's just a misunderstood bard.
Isn't every bard a misunderstood bard?
Probably. Slippery is opting for the more direct stress dealing with the karate man rather than waiting for the scripted end of the fight.
I mean, eventually you might get to the scripted end beforehand. Or not.
Not if Edge has anything to say about it. So we'll see who is hiding tonight as the king.
That is not an evil wall.
Fortunately, no, it's a Leviathan.
No, it's a Leviathan. Because they didn't have enough equity to get the H. Well, in all seriousness, I have a whole spiel about the first part of the game. From basically, I have a whole spiel about the Paladin percent side of the run. When Leviathan shows up and sinks the ship from Fabul, that basically he's mad because in this whole big Disney process, copyright Disney, he got a several game cameo appearance fee, and he got mad when he showed up for his cameo here because the sailors yelled out Leviathan as opposed to Leviathan, and that's why he sunk the ship, because he was mad they messed up his name.
I have nothing to add to that, but there's a foo.
Bob.
Beardy. And Beardy's taking the place of Rosa.
Interesting.
That is interesting. I would have thought that Horum would have been the person to be saying bye-bye, but no, instead it's bye-bye Rosa.
I mean, I think it's more of a sin to dismiss Rosa with that palette on, because the lavender one is just beautiful.
Meanwhile, Crim's still working his way through the Rubicante fight. took a quick look at Edge's spell list, saw nothing but flame, and realized, that's not.
Ooh, we found the path. So we are literally for Slippery. We are on a boss hunt. Time to check and go.
Very, very nicely, nice find, because this means that we can just run up to the moon and poke our head everywhere and see if we ever find anyone.
I find it interesting he didn't go back in and check the Odin spot real quick.
Very good point, because that is something that you kind of forget about sometimes. At least I do. That's probably, again, why I'm commentating and not playing.
And I know the exact reason why I'm commentating and not playing. I didn't sign up.
Ah, well, that'll do it too. Yeah, as you might expect, Slippery's coming into the moon. We're gonna do some quick boss checks to try to see if that wall's sticking out anywhere.
Unlike a lot of the spots where you know there are boss fights, you don't get to see what's there because you just have the little moon sparkle. So you have to go into every boss fight and see if it's the wall or not. Speaking of boss fights, though, CrimsonAvix is going to go ahead and take down Rubicante on his side and be rewarded with a Lavender Rosa.
We'll see if Rosa makes the team or not.
Yep. Rosa does make the team as we are making our way down deeper into the lunar subterranean.
Yeah, it looks like Slippery's going to go for the relatively standard bottom-up strategy of clearing out the boss spots.
I mean, it absolutely makes the most sense considering you're getting two right next to each other with the two down below. Then you just go from Ogopogo to Wyvern to Pale Dim. And hey, we got some King Ryu.
Yeah, first we gotta do some double dragon grinding.
It has been so long since I've played that game.
It's like he's using one of his hourglasses here. I think that's the only one we found so far. And opting to do more of a standard attacking strat rather than just... No, he is going to be using weak.
I was like, can I say how much I really much enjoyed the Frozen Sorcerer Fu palette there?
The palette work has been done in the randomizer is excellent.
It is absolutely fantastic. I mean, like I said, we got Lavender Rosa, we've got, Ice Wizard Fu. My personal favorite is still Mega Man Sid. Because Mega Man Sid.
Well, that needs no explanation.
It really doesn't. And it ties in two distinct universes, the Final Fantasy and Mega Man universes. It links them together.
You only have, I think, 8 key items right now, so it's only going to do 90,000 experience points, but it's still enough to get you a few more levels and probably enough to get you through the boss fights here.
Krim going to go ahead and finish off his Mom Bomb fight and going to get himself only a ribbon.
Nice piece of equipment, but again, nothing that helps move this seat along for him.
Oh, that is definitely not an evil wall.
That is... It looks like he's going to take the fight, though, trying to get the items here.
Nope.
No, never mind. Thought better of it.
I mean, you may eventually have to take that fight if Evil Wall is blocked behind either Twin Harp or Package, but right now you don't, or Lukaki, or could just be a vanilla Evil Wall.
Yeah, or the Hook could be the first boss of the Hook route.
But yeah, you don't need to take that right now, so there's you just don't. This one you take because you can pretty much survive.
Absolutely. Given how much damage was just put out there, Cecil himself should be able to take care of this, no problem. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a pretty good decent place for experience, so not everyone's going to be able to get that.
Crim hooking Rosa up with some arrows.
That's a Leviathan summon that's pretty much just fodder. Doesn't even get the, well, that's an item status.
I mean, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
We're downgrading. It's no longer an item, it's a thing. So this is where things, pardon me, use the word thing 17,000 times. This is where things get interesting, because once Crim is done with the tower, assuming he goes up and fights Ogopogo and gets the Baron Key, if he follows that and gets the pass, if he goes up to the moon, that puts Slippery firmly in control, especially if, if we find Evil Wall here, then yes. But depending on routing here, this is where things could get very interesting all of a sudden.
Absolutely. This could be a case where if Crimson does go to the giant and finds the wall there, he could be in a excellent spot. Speaking of excellent spots, how about King Queen Evelyn over here at the Mazmuni altar?
I mean, if you're gonna find a free fight, this is one of the places you want to see.
Absolutely.
And Crim gonna go ahead and do even more egg fights over here. So if you haven't used up all of your yolks, now's the time to do them.
Slippery waits out the king and queen, as you might expect, having so many hit points here, and get a nice item here, hopefully for her sake. Stardust Rod.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I wouldn't call that. I call that a good item, not even just an item.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than it's an item. It's definitely, you're not disappointed to see it, especially considering it wasn't a hard boss fight. If that was something like, Ogopogo in his vanilla spot, or a Golbez, or something ridiculous, CPU perhaps, like, you're just like, ugh.
So that's all the altars at the bottom of the moon, leaving us just 2 more checks here and Bahamut Cave check for the rest of the moon.
And then things become interesting.
Absolutely. Where to next? Because we haven't gotten any key items here that unlock anything else. So we'll be at the moment, it's basically giant.
Giant, or what item we need is locked behind a boss, either behind Golbez, behind Dr. Luge, behind the Alt Gauntlet, or it's at the Odin spot.
There could be a very difficult choice to be made very soon on Slippery's side.
Because that is not a wall.
No.
It's an eyeball.
But again, it's a boss that's pretty easily defeated, so he's going to go ahead and take the fight.
That's always a fun strat to mess with Plague. Oh, I'm just going to kamikaze myself.
It's a little annoying to have to deal with the life strats, but it's definitely very doable at this point. So it's it's another key item check. It's more experience. Definitely a good play to take this right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's as free as a boss where you have to do a bunch of menuing can get.
Meanwhile, Prim's hit the top of the tower, is going to take on this boss who I've forgotten who it was by this point.
Oh, this is the Danger Noodle.
Ah, yes. So yeah, Slippery's down to 2 more boss checks on the moon before we just declare it haunted and leave. Oh, Crimson is going to get waved at here.
Not quite enough levels on Rosa to have Cure 4 yet. Just keep chugging away, nuking over on Plague, and just hammering away over on Ogopogo, and slicing and dicing, apparently.
Yes, and Plague is down. And coming out of that fight, we're getting just a golden apple.
Not what we wanted to see there.
That certainly is an item.
I mean, it's the fruits of our labor.
Yes. He is walking out of this place. I'm possibly to do more grinding. Or maybe he's going back to take care of Golbez.
Maybe. Also, Ogopogo, big waving. Ooh, this is bad. Oh, 91 HP with the clench and the clutch.
Edge pulls it out. Wow. And gets the Sandra before his trouble. He's very happy to see that because he knows that's where Edward is.
Yeah, like, oh, the clench was real there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, definitely looks like we're going back for Golbez.
I guess not wanting to leave here without getting those 2 key items behind the...
I mean, this is one of those gambles where you're here, so you want to do it. I mean, Golbez is an absolutely atrocious boss. This is a gamble that, I mean, if this pays off, fantastic. If this doesn't pay off, then whoo boy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is something that your opponent might definitely just take one look at and say, nope, I'm just going to fade this right now. So if you get through this and it's the right way to go, you're feeling very good about yourself.
You very much are. And I guarantee Crim's also very happy to see the Dark Imps in this spot.
Absolutely. And Golbez is very, very kind enough to leave Cecil, who is unaffected by the hold gas up, so he can get that Star Veil out right now.
And even get luckier when the virus goes off of Cecil as opposed to Edge.
So thankfully, on Slippery's side, he's only going to have to do this fight once. It's one of those things where if you get the wrong characters up, you're sitting there thinking, oh gosh, do I have to go through this again?
Yeah, but with these 2 characters, you're perfectly fine.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with you got the walls up. These guys are going to Golbez down very quickly.
Crim going to go ahead and get his second objective to destroy the super cannon. And wouldn't surprise me if we see him do the exact same thing we saw Slippery do, which is go unlock Edward and then immediately cash in that Baron key. The question is going to be, is does Crim check Odin before he goes anywhere else? And is Odin going to be valued? Is there going to be value in Cave Bahamut? I mean, everyone loves a value Bahamut, right?
I'm pretty sure everyone does.
That's also a shocked mob.
Trying to bring these characters back up against to try to share some of the experience, but Golbez is not cooperating.
Nope. Ooh, and neither is the Reflex. But
Too little too late for Golbez, yeah.
Krim also going to go ahead and play El Kabong, and there is the hook behind Golbez. So we're saying there's a chance.
By hook or by crook, if Evil Wall is the first boss on the hook route, that could be big.
And note that because we had the Magma Key, that was not Golbez blocking underground access. So am I the only one who, anytime they take a rest in the Lunar Whale, when I wake up, the first things out of my mouth are, "But you're still hungry"?
Yeah, Slippery is healed up and heads on down to first boss, I guess chronologically of the moon, even though it's the last boss we always check here.
The Pale Dim spot.
Krim's going back down Feymarsh way. Is he thinking about taking on the bosses down here?
You would have to be. I mean, this is one of those gambles where you have to take, you have to figure, seeing that it's not a boss that's required, you may go after this and you could get lucky. You pull off a Luca Key or the Twin Heart, and that's where the Evil Wall is. I mean, this is a gamble you got to play, especially an hour and a half into a seat like this.
Absolutely, this could again.
Or could you get Bacchus ones? And there's the wall at Pale Dim.
Oh my, there you go. That is going to be a go mode for Slippery through this fight. Now the question is Slippery going to do any more grinding? Because looking at those hit point totals, that's very dangerous territory for having to deal with a Zeromus fight.
Evil Wall is another one of those boss fights that definitely has the intensity ramped up in it because of the music that you're fighting it with. Like, just the vanilla boss music doesn't do Evil Wall as much justice as it should.
Yeah, Krim's gonna go ahead and knock on Dr. Bluegaze's door, see if he's got some office hours.
I like that one. I like that one. I haven't heard that one. Also, I love how that with Edge having the two stages of the stage of petrification and crouching down, he's got the lavender hair. So I'm like, wait, when did Rosa get back up there?
We're down to just two Berserk fighters here on the Evil Wall side. This could get a little hairy.
You had to say something, didn't you?
Or not. What is that, about 5 or 6 times this match?
I think so, yeah. And there's the Luca key. So wait, is this supposed to be the reverse? Don't you use the key to get to the wall, but use the wall to get to the key?
And Slippery's noping out of there. You see, like I said, I think he needs to do a little more grinding because at least I wouldn't be very comfortable with those levels. So we'll see what he chooses to do next.
But you're still hungry.
Meanwhile, Krim's on the second phase of that Luge fight. Unfortunately, we now know whatever he down here. At best, it's not going to help him, as worse, he's going to lead him down a very wrong path. Now we'll see if Slippery is going to go ahead and unlock the door first. I wonder if he's going to do that to get his 10th key item, or is he just going to grind on 9 items?
He's got 10.
Does he have 10?
All 4 keys: the Earth Crystal, the Darkness Crystal, the Hook, the Sand Ruby, the Apple, the Pan.
And you got my ice checked, apparently. That's 10, absolutely.
And the pass, technically, too. But we have got ourselves a dead Dr. Luggage over on Crim's side.
It's a protect ring. Not what he needs to see right now.
Definitely not what you want to see right there.
Going to go right over and try his luck on the Gauntlet. That's a no.
Apparently, I've started a war, a debate in chat. My comment about thinking Edge was Rosa with the purple hair has now started a debate in chat over who the palette was supposed to be. And, yeah, it's interesting.
It's a Bummeroo from Live Alive? Live Alive? Live Alive? I've never learned how to pronounce that one.
I have no idea what it even is, so.
Crim's waking up. Edward getting his 3rd objective on the board.
Yes, and while we are talking about the palette for Edge and all the wonderfulness, I suppose we should give a shout out to the mastermind behind most of the palettes and the artwork that you're going to see here in the randomizer. That, of course, is the wonderful Scala Kitty, who, if I'm reading chat correctly, I believe it might be Scala's birthday?
I believe you're right. Happy birthday to Scala.
I mean, part of me, if, we didn't have a race going on, would try and get a big group sing-along together, but we don't need to do that.
You don't want to hear me sing, trust me.
Oh, now I want to hear it even more.
No, you don't. Slippery stopping off for a few more sirens. Apparently wants to do a little bit more grinding before heading off to the moon.
And Crim is up at the moon now, and he's going to wake up, and he's also still going to be hungry. Also, if I suddenly go quiet, it's because my privileges to talk have been revoked because I called out Scala's birthday. Please don't try and coordinate singing over. Why can't I try and coordinate that? We do have some more egg grind happening as Crim is going into the deepest, darkest corners of the moon.
Looks to be doing the same thing that Slippery did, going bottom up. Unfortunately, the answer to all his questions lie at the top of the moon.
Well, half of them. He still needs to go back to Baron Tower and get the pass, too.
True. He hasn't had a chance to do that yet.
I think we might be close to done on the grinding for Slippery because Quick Kid just learned Nuke.
He became Nuke Kid. And
isn't that every kid who was born in the 90s? Just throw it in the microwave and nuke it.
And we're starting to hit those HP levels where you're starting feeling, yeah, at this point I can take on almost. So yeah, a couple more at most. He only has 2 more, and probably just do them both and then call it a day.
Yeah, I don't need to go back and purchase more, but definitely use up the 2 you have left. Also, can someone please tell Palom that cooking the eggs till they're rock hard is not what you're supposed to do?
And that's going to do it for the grinding, looks like. I think we're on a crash collision course, something like that, for Zeromus right now. And we are going to make a very quick trip to Zeromus's lair, there's always one question we have to ask.
Whose butt are we kicking today?
See those flags out in the chat, and so we're gonna do a little more inventory to make sure that we're all good and ready.
Crim did find his pain man, so gets the easy fight out of the way. Yang is the only one picking up the AXP here. It's going to be interesting to see if Crim opts to go back and take on Golbez like we saw Slippery do, or if he's just going to continue on with the Ogopogo spot, which is King Queen Avalon, the Wyvern spot, and the correct spot answer, the Pale Dim spot.
See, unfortunately, since he hasn't found the pass yet, that's probably still going to be on his mind. If he sees Golbez and still has the pass outstanding, he might think, yeah, I better take this.
I mean, you're not wrong there. So I guess before we figure out whose butt we're kicking, anything particular you hoping to see from Zeromus?
Here's the thing. Every time I'm either playing a seed or watching a seed, I swear what happens is I recognize the sprite. Every time I'm commentating a seed, I never recognize it, so I always look foolish. So all I'm doing is hoping for something that I can tell you where it's from.
Fair enough. Well, Crim going to be brought all down to the Hades, which is a long drop from the moon. And interesting, he's noping out of that as well. Also, yes, I agree with Warlink in chat, Potato Mist to go off of with Mylon Z as the potato. So, Potato Mist, yes. Although I did see hummus the other day and lost it.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Just a bowl of hummus. I have a picture, I can send it to you.
Awesome.
But here we go. Let's see. Do we recognize the sprite?
There goes the crystal. And
Ursula! Those poor unfortunate souls.
Wonderful.
You poor unfortunate souls. And that's the most thing you gotta get out of me.
Throwing up a wall, looks like we're going to be getting some hybrid stats on the side of Slippery here. With the number of black mages you've got here, I think that makes a lot of sense. And getting the reflect nuke out of it as well. There's some luck for you.
So if you guys want some interesting stuff to do with Ursula, do yourselves a favor, and I can't remember the voice actress's name who does Ursula's voice, but there's
Pat Carroll.
Thank you. There is a clip out there of Pat Carroll doing the introduction to the Haunted Mansion at Disney in Ursula's voice, and it is fantastic. Like, seriously, do yourself a favor and look that up. It is rough.
A bluffed Palom just threw a 9999 nuke out. That's very, very impressive.
Crim going back to Golbez, like you said, still needing the pass, so gonna dig.
Yeah, I don't blame that one bit.
Somebody in chat referencing one of the first Zeromus sprites I ever saw, which was actually the first Zeromus sprite I ever saw, which was Zeroma HD, which is just the PSP port sprite, and it confused the heck out of me because I'm like, wait, they just zoomed in? What happened? And on the Golbez fight, Crim also getting the same luck that we saw Slippery get, where Golbez left the one person who didn't get hit by the hold gas up in play, so he can get the
Unfortunately, I don't know if he's got any star veils left. He might be run out of them.
Good news is Rosa can cast Wall.
Absolutely.
I did see Rhythmist the other day, which was fun. And apparently the rhythm from Theater Rhythm that Zeramis turns into is the fight with Zeramis boss fight.
There are just so many interesting and funny and good sprites. Once again, thank you very much to the current birthday celebrant, Scala Kitty. Excuse me.
Oh, absolutely fantastic as we continue to nuke Ursula and watch Golbez get, reflect on the bad things he. But we shouldn't be too far along until we end up in the rocks phase over on the Ursulamus side of the equation. Although Rocksmith or Rocks phase from under the sea is that just like being attacked with coral?
You think they would float, right?
I mean, it could just be she's just throwing Flotsam and Jetsam at you, but...
And as you said, there are your rocks, which means that we should be finishing up very shortly on Slippery side.
Apparently, the winner of the tournament is going to get to pick a sprite to be added to the possible sprite pool, from what I was just told. So that's fun.
I think they also get to choose a new music to add as well.
Unfortunately, we did not get music here. Oh wow, that was cool. The finish with the white spell to stop Ursulamus.
Yes, GG's to slippery42, who has just punched his ticket into the round of 32, the official bracket stage. His final time, 1 hour, 43 minutes, 39 seconds.
And with that, we've got ourselves a Slippery 42.
Hello, hello. Hopefully I'm coming, my voice is coming through all right.
I mean, I can hear you.
Perfect to me. Very good. GG.
Yeah, thanks. That was a nerve-wracking seed being so open at the beginning. Like underground access right off the bat, and moon access not too long after that.
So it took quite a while to finally get objective 2 on the board. How is that feeling as you're going through such an open seed, having to think that, okay, I still haven't gotten anything done yet?
Right. I mean, with an open seed like that, I was figuring my opponent could be anywhere. I mean, as early as an hour into the seed, I was getting nervous of a potential loss. But I guess I managed to pull through.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of brings to the question I was going to ask you kind of answer, though, was, being about an hour into the seed and not having any objectives done. At that point, are you considering doing something along the lines of a crazy gamble, or are you just still on the line of, nope, I'm going to stick to the way I play this and just go from there?
In those cases, I usually kind of stick to my guns unless, I only go for a gamble if, one, I know my opponent's posted a lot better seed of the week times than me, and I didn't really get a read on my opponent this week. And two, there's like one of two options, and it'd be like, okay, do the conventional play or do something people don't like to do, like Giant or Luca Cave. That didn't really come up in this seed, so I just kind of played it in terms of like, where's the highest density of checks that I need.
So with that, you are guaranteed a spot into the brackets. How are you feeling about that?
Pretty good. This is my first time, or my first year competing in in league play. So, getting to that stage is it feels really good.
And of course, with the advance into the brackets, there's also an increase in difficulty on the flag sets. How's that the new flag set going to strike you?
Yeah, that's going to be a little tougher. I'll probably put in a few practice runs over the next week. But I mean, I think I've I've run some Seeds of the Week that have more restrictive flag sets, so I mean, I'll bear through it. Actually, on one hand, restricting it to 7 characters might actually help me out a little bit, because I have a tendency to like hoard items for. It's like, oh man, I kept that Holy Lance the whole game, hoping like, maybe I'll get a cane, maybe I'll get a cane. But if I see all 7 characters, I know, okay, I can just throw that stuff away and I won't waste as much time in the menus.
It's very true. It's very true. Greenleaf, you got anything else you'd like to ask Slippery?
Nothing off the top of my head, but we have a very interesting strat over on Crim's side. You'll notice his count is all down to 0, but nothing happened. He Bacchused all 5 of his characters and kept their relative agility to the point where count wouldn't complete. That's a fantastic strat over there on Plague.
That is impressively done.
Wait, you can do that?
Yes, I learned about this 2 weeks ago, so...
Anything else you'd like to add about this seed, or anything else, Slippery?
Oh, not really. I just want to wish I saw while I was waiting for the delay to catch up that it was Scala Kitty's birthday. So happy birthday there.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us, and good luck in the future with your next round.
Thanks. I'll see you guys in the bracket rounds.
Sounds good. And over on our right side, Crim going to go ahead and use both of the regeneration tiles to fully fuel back up and make his way back down into the moon. Good news for him, he's going to find himself an evil wall. Bad news for him, he still needs the pass.
Well, that'll give him the Baron key and the Luca key as the obvious checks remaining. I suppose he could take a peek into Bottom Cave as well. But I would think, given the choice between Baron and Luca, you'd probably choose Baron.
Right, the other option there, I mean, Hook doesn't give you anything, so yeah, I mean, with what you have, you absolutely go after that. And what was that music? Oh, music had package, so if Evil Wall was back there, we would have got some music.
Fortunately, not to be tonight.
It was hidden behind the Gauntlet.
Well, yes, there is Evil Wall on Crimson's side. Very happy to see that, because that just, as we said, only leaves one more question for him to answer before he can finish off the seed. And looking at his character levels, I'm sure he'll be right into the battle as soon as he gets that pass.
Yeah, the question is going to be, where does he go from here to get the pass? Now, at this point, you've seen your opponent done, so it's one of those questions where you see this, like, do you think about, okay, where would he go that I didn't go? Do you meta? It's one of those questions, where do you play off of the done to make a check somewhere, or do you just go and continue with what you would be doing?
I would imagine that a time of 143 is not too long, so you probably wouldn't have to do anything crazy like go to Feymarsh and take a path down there from the Gauntlet. So I would imagine he would probably just do the obvious checks, maybe hit Bahamut Cave on the way out before doing Baron.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what you look for here, but it's always interesting when the last thing you need to do is an item as opposed to a character or a boss check, because boss checks, it's pop in, pop out, okay, not the boss, and you go. With an item check, you have to go through all of the boss fights to get to the end of it.
And one thing I just thought of is that since when you do the sealed cave, you see the item before you have to fight any bosses. So you might think, okay, I go down there, I check the item, and if it's nothing I need, I can just warp out or reset out.
Right, and seeing that Luca key definitely puts you on that perspective. But we'll see where he goes from here, as we're going to exit our way out of the moon. It's going to be very telling to see where Crim goes from here. If he goes to Baron Castle, beautiful. If he doesn't go to Baron Castle, well, get your popcorn, everybody.
We could be here for a little bit longer, yes. But no, instead of going up over to Bahamut Cave, it does look like he's heading back to Earth.
I love the landing of the lunar whale because of the way it works. I always think you're going to crush the airship.
Yeah, that sprite is just way too big for the amount of space it takes.
Oh, he's turning in the pan. Oh no, he never did the. Did he do the gauntlet? Yeah, he did the gauntlet. It was Wi-Fi. Yeah,
Yes.
so he's turning in the pan. Which, from what we saw over on Slippery's, is going to lead him to the rat tail, which is going to lead to the legend sword.
And, well, fortunately for him, I guess we should say that's a dead end, so he won't have be tempted to go anyplace else.
Right. And is going to go pick up the hovercraft, so we are going to get the rat tail turn in at least. I mean, that is the one good thing about looking for, the one quote-unquote good thing about looking for key items is you can just worry about looking for key items. You don't have to worry about, oh, we got to check this chest, that chest, go find here, go find here. It's just, okay, let's just follow this path.
Absolutely. Now, with the admin, that is an Excalibur if he wants it, which would be an upgrade on Cecil's side. I don't know if he's going to be tempted to turn that in or not.
Oh, we'll find out when we see where he goes. Looks like that's a yes.
It does open up the smithy shop here, which can give you some good items as well. So if he wants to upgrade more of his party members, this is definitely a decent check to make.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take. I mean, you've already you know at this point you've already lost the seed, so there's no point in not making your Zero fight as easy as it possibly can be.
Absolutely. Artemis arrows. That's a pretty nice pickup.
Nothing wrong with a little Excalibur. I'm disappointed we don't have a trident, because Edge darting a trident at Ursula in this would be perfect.
That would certainly fit the theme very well.
Yep. And, ooh. Oh. He's following a gauntlet chain. However, this does mean something.
It means we might actually get music after all.
It means we might get music. I'm okay with this. There's nothing wrong with some good music.
Absolutely. It's something we always like to hear.
I kind of want it to be happy birthday.
If he wants to, he can also restock on Bacchus wines down here, because I'm sure he went through a ton going through the moon.
Oh, Groundflyer in chat. I bet Crimson would music for the fans. I know he would music for the fans. Also, wouldn't be surprised if he blames his entire thing on me. Just ask anyone in the Zelda 1 community. They'll tell you it's all my fault. They'll tell you to blame me. Also, I love the fact that the gauntlet says, "You dare challenge me?" and there's like 10 of them.
On the other hand, now that he's got 10 items, this is going to be a very nice source of experience for him. So this will any thought of grinding is will be done right after this.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely that.
One down. There you see those Artemis arrows doing work.
Funny, when we cast Quick, it does much more damage than when she casts Quick.
Wonder why that is.
Well, statistically speaking, no, I'm not going to get into that. No math. It's 11:15 at night. No math.
That's 2 fights down. Is it just Contours this spot, or are there different ones?
There are clappers too, I believe. I thought just the Naga. That's a huge Naga. I'm not sure what the difference between a huge Naga and a regular Naga is, but it's there.
Probably has to do with the size.
I mean, the sprite looks the same.
That's 3 fights down. Well, look at that, another Conjurer.
See, this is why I prefer Abjuration. That's 2 D&D references I've gotten in tonight. Man, this is going to be a lot of XP. Double clappers?
Clap on, clap off.
Definitely. And there's the clap off right there. Oh, okay. Not quite.
Almost.
There.
There.
Also, we had the Conjurer and the Clapper used Blitz. So the first thing that popped into my head was the man in the back said everyone attack and it turned into a ballroom blitz. That's also a dead edge.
Kira's not going to do the job at that point, no, but that Artemis, those Artemis arrows are certainly doing the job. Getting the quad 9s out.
And that's going to do it for the Gauntlet.
And that's a Twin Harp, as has already been revealed. Yes, we'll see if Crimson's going to be the people's champion here and do that music for us.
And that leads to the package as well. Oh, we're getting some fighting in chat now. Slippery, our winner of tonight's race, is in chat saying that Divination is the best wizardry school.
See, I would have guessed Ravenclaw.
Okay, we'll go with that. I don't think we're getting music, folks.
No, this looks to be the Baron check, which will lead us to the pass, which will lead us to the end. Unless, of course, Crimson knows the match is over and just wants to give the people what they want anyway. Hopefully.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me in the slightest. Because the people do demand tribute. And that tribute is music. And cake. German chocolate cake, if I'm going to be specific.
Well, we're going to have cake. We might as well make a good one.
Absolutely.
So just to give everyone a heads up, look at the schedule. We've got 3 more play-in matches the rest of this week. We got one tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. We got another one on Friday at 8:30 Eastern, and we got another one on Saturday at 8 Eastern. Once we do that, we will know the identity of every one of our 32 runners who've qualified for the brackets phase, which will start the following week.
As opposed to what we saw Slippery do earlier, which was the just beat Yang over the head until he's done. Crim's going to go for the scripted way to do it.
Anytime you've got the Paladin Cecil in your party, that is a very valid play to make, as long as it's...
Oh, Crim doing an Odin check first.
Ooh. That is... I don't know if I've ever seen anyone, stop the Baron tassel fights mid fight to go down here. That's interesting.
This is one of those little gambles that you can make. We are rewarded with a demist.
Let's see if Rudy's mom has anything good for us after this. If he wants to go there, presumably he'll finish off Baron after this and get the pass and saying, "Yeah, I'll just leave it."
Yeah, or it might just give the people what they want. And of course, the demist going into the favorite mechanic of Final Fantasy first bosses, where they have a mechanic that tells you not to attack, and if you do, you get punished for it.
I've always wondered why they loved that kind of boss for their first boss for several games, and then they never bring it back for the rest of the game.
No, because 4 has it with demist, 5 has it with the eagle, 6 has it with the whelp, 7 has it with the guard scorpion. And then you really don't see it a lot anymore.
No.
ATB training, according to Scala.
Following instructions, I always thought, just learning to read.
Although it's funny because we bring that up, and if you played through 4, 5, and 6 where you got the 7, it was a little bit easier to understand. But if you're someone like me who didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up, I was a Sega baby, so went from playing Final Fantasy 1 to playing Final Fantasy 7. And if you didn't put the in-battle text speed on fastest, you got the guard scorpion message that said, "Attack while its tail's up." And it stayed there for like 5 seconds. So you attacked. And then you got the message that said, "It's going to counterattack with its laser."
That's a crystal sword. That's an upgrade to the Excalibur we already got.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go out of your way, that's a good thing to go out of your way for it.
Absolutely. That crystal sword on that Paladin Cecil against his Romus, that's a hot knife through butter.
Or in this case, a hot knife through calamari.
Suppose that's accurate. And we'll have one quick Leviathan fight here. Get our pass. And we'll see how Crim's going to want to play it.
I'm going to bet he's going to push button, receive beacon.
I didn't heal up between fights, so that makes these waves a little... Well, what am I talking about? This guy has like 6,000 hit points. He's going to go through that in one swing.
Hence, push button, receive beacon.
Yeah.
Too late for a mop here, Crim.
Knowing how, as you said, he likes to do strats. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much room for a foo at this point.
Nope, just getting the foo out of here. See, it's so weird seeing the just the random, like, quote unquote common sense things that happen when you take the text out in the randomizer, and going back to watching a regular playthrough of this, and you see all the sad scenes happen in these locations, and you're just like, oh.
Meanwhile, you're screaming at the screen. Don't you realize there's a door? They didn't lock it.
Run away! Run away! Oh, I was screaming that too for forever.
And yes, there's that pass. That is the last piece of the puzzle for Crim.
Not gonna be the people's champ here tonight. Not gonna give us our music.
Well, he's parking at Troy. He needs to be there anyway, so maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't. At this point, you're 2 hours and 10 minutes into a seed. Oh, he is gonna give us music.
Oh,
He's gonna give us music.
The dream is real.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do the fight and just gives us the music. Which means I now have to get my mouse ready so I can turn the volume up so I can hear the music.
Yeah, me too.
Although, yeah. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, by the way, please make sure you follow both of our runners, slippery42 and CrimsonAvix. They put on a fantastic show here, and of course, Crim being the hero that we all deserve right now, that we all need.
So making a couple of item changes here very smartly so that he will be locked into place once the cutscene starts, so we can get to that music just a little bit faster.
So if you have him, please put your harps in chat, put your hands together, adjust the volume on your preferred listening devices accordingly, and be ready for music.
So yeah, we've been sitting here talking for well over 2 hours at this point. I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick and tired of listening to my voice, so I'm going to shut up for a little bit. And
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm also getting sick and tired of listening to your voice. You set me up. That was too easy.
That's why I do it, you know. So we're just gonna let the strains of Edward play us out. That's a very nice rendition of Kakariko Village theme.
That was very nice. That was awesome. And like we said, CrimsonAvix, the hero we deserve, giving us our Kakariko Village, giving us our Twin Harp music. So again, if you haven't done so already, don't just follow Crim, but please follow both of our runners. But yeah, there we go. That is our crystal. And now it is just on to the inevitable smacking of an octopus.
With that crystal sword and a lot of Bacchus wines, this shouldn't take too long.
Nope. Now, can we get the Kakariko village juxtaposed into the Zeramis fight?
I think it's version 4.1.
Oh, okay. I'm going to throw that cursed ring on Sid to give us our agility anchor. Also fun to see Yang with the double poison claw.
I'm sorry, there's some question to check. I should just say I'm joking here. They're not going to be changing this rope.
We're totally joking about that.
A little bit of last minute menuing on Crim's side just to make sure everything is in the right place.
And we know whose butt we're kicking today. It's just going to be drink wine and kick butt.
I'll be very interested to see just how much damage Cecil can output with that crystal sword at these levels. Should be a very large number.
I'm going to go 4,500. But we get some more poor unfortunate souls here. And I will be honest, if I knew more words to poor unfortunate souls, I would have sung more earlier. So y'all should be thankful. One of the few Disney songs I don't know a lot about.
And looks like we're handing out the Bacchus wines, as you might expect here. Do you want to get everyone nice and berserked?
Ooh, 5,600.
That's like I said, that's some very decent damage here. Get the Silk Web out to nerf the first nuke.
Yeah, so doing about 5,500 a pop with Crystal Sword Cecil.
Question now just becomes how many Big Bangs is Ursulamus going to be able to even get out at this time?
Gotta be at least one, right?
I imagine you see the one, like right here. But beyond that, you might see one more before you get to the rocks part of the fight.
Yeah, but when you're doing between 4,500 and 5,500 a pop with your Crystal Sword Cecil, just...
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to mention once again, we are going to be doing 3 more play-in matches the rest of the week. One more tomorrow, one's Friday, one's Saturday. I would say check your local listings, but I think we're your local listings, so keep an eye out on this channel. We'll be keep carrying those races.
Crim giving us a spoiler in chat. He walked away from his computer at this point in the fight. Because we got a Bacchus Rosa, we got Quint Zerkers!
Yeah, that's taking the human element out of things, and we're just gonna let the computer finish this fight for us.
I mean, is this basically a task? CrimsonAvix, truly the hero the people deserve. Gives us music, gives us quaint zerkers. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Seriously, this has been a tour de force of giving the people what they want.
Yeah, we make everyone all excited. Then there's always that one random person in chat. They want a low tat. Like, that's completely random, and I'm perfectly okay with it. And we didn't even see rocks.
Oh wow, that was very quick, very well done on Crimson's side. That is GG for Crimson, who finishes off with a time of 2 minutes 70 seconds and 2 hours 17 minutes and 4 seconds. Excuse me.
Let's say 2 minutes. Wow.
That was a very quick seed, but I mean, in reality, really, thanks so much for giving us that last half hour of just pure joy.
Very much so.
So with that, as we said, GG to Slippery as well, who did advance and is be put into the bracket with 31 other runners. And we will start giving you those races from next week. I believe that's just about going to do it for us tonight. Do you have anything else to add for this, Greenleaf?
No, I think we are done. So, I mean, like I said, make sure you follow our runners. Also, we didn't point out nearly as much we probably should have behind the scenes, but we have two fantastic people behind the scenes who are making this run, making us sound a whole heck of a lot better than we actually do. And that would be both our restreamer and our tracker. That, of course, being, I'm going to just switch it to you because I'm going to mess up pronunciations. Go ahead.
Jofis Mano.
And Ravlin.
And again, happy birthday, Scala Kitty.
Yes, absolutely. Happy birthday, Scala Kitty, indeed. So, is this where we sing?
If you want to, I don't think we can afford the loss of subscribers.
Fair enough. So with that, thank you all very much on behalf of everybody here. Thank you all very much for watching. That is Twisted Flax. I am the Greenleaf Effect. Thank you all very much for watching. Keep hailing. And those of you in chat, don't worry. There's going to be more free enterprise coming your way because there was a bracket flags race that was just started. So we're sending it all over to Simbu.
So have a good one. Thanks for watching.
Rip.
Oops, wrong Simbu. Sorry.
That was fun.